What will I do now that it's over?
What is over, you squidgy wolf and filth?
Only the most intriguing role-playing game that's come out of the indie market in years.
More intriguing than dark matter, Hudakai?
Let's not get carried away.
Then why are you slumped in a chair as if your life is about to be over?
This game spoke to me on so many levels. Humans and monsters once lived together in harmony, one with technology and the other with magic. Then the monsters were forced underground following from losing a war, no doubt based on the fact they were different. The monsters sealed themselves away using a magical barrier which could only be broken with both human and monster souls. It's the story of my life. I'm forced to hide away because I'm a wolfman and you're a virus-infested PS Vita.
Does this mean we require human souls to break free?
No, it means we must review this indie gem.
Because I like the idea of taking human souls to free the superior machines of the world.
Be quiet, Asgore, and let's review Undertale. My name's Gerad.
And I am titled Mecha.
And we're the Indie Mechanix Gaming Reviews. Undertale is a 2D RPG by Toby Fox, who had a brief hand in Homestuck, and developed through RPG Maker. Yes, RPG Maker. That program that inspires many a person to create a battle-heavy game where they seem to make cliché stories and anime characters with yawningly familiar character traits as Sword Art Online or something. Yeah, I went there.
And how is Undertale different from the slew of RPGs that are released by such people?
Well, it actually tries.
Visually, it looks as graphically intricate as a ZX Spectrum system.
Actually, not quite. As with most RPGs, it has a slight different style of graphic both in battle and out. Out of battle, it resembles more like a Nintendo Entertainment System of game, or more basic SNES at best. It's heavily influenced by Mother, or Earthbound if you wish, and that's by no means a bad thing. I mean, most RPG Maker games just use the default graphic system that comes with the package.
Which unfortunately means most look the same as each other.
Indeed. In battle, Undertale resembles more of an Atari system feel, or something much more vector-based and basic. It's an intriguing mix.
Intriguing is not the word. I do not feel these visual styles mix, and the game should have focused on one or the other. As it is, the battle system looks underwhelming. Even the battle boxes, choosing whether to attack or use items, etc., look like they were drawn on MS Paint.
Whatever you're feeling on it, I quite like the basic look of the battle system. It's deceptive. In fact, the whole game is rather deceptive. You see, you encounter monsters and you can fight them, which I'm guessing most usually will, as RPGs have always taught us so. Or you can act instead.
Acting is fighting, you idiot.
I'm no idiot, Mecha. I mean, you can select the act option and use some alternative actions. Each enemy has a different personality and usually some neat visual gag, which can be translated into how you act towards them to defeat them. For example, the Shyren is shy. So you can act and choose to smile at her and she warms a little, starting to hum. Then you can hum and she'll feel comfortable launching into a melody. Once that's all said and done, you can then choose to spare her, which will beat her in battle and earn you some cash.
I thought this was an RPG, not a bullet hell game. This game doesn't know what it wants to be.
No, this is good, Mecha. It's different. After every action, and should the enemy attack, you will defend via a bullet hell style game, avoiding the enemy's projectiles with your own heart. If the heart is hit, you lose health. It's actually an ingenious way of having a lot more power in evasion and defending, rather than straight out defense and sometimes dodging the enemy's attacks to a stat.
I disagree. I would much rather this game pick one style and run with it. I do not like the mesh of visual and game styles it is. Some may call this game unfocused.
And some may call you a boring old fart, Mecha.
At least I know what I am.
You may as well be a malicious flower by the way you're acting.
What is that supposed to mean?
Nothing, Flowey. Anyway, the mesh of styles is what makes Undertale much more unique to play through, and the battles themselves aren't overwhelming like they can be in so many others. The random encounters aren't that frequent either, which is quite nice in its own way, and you can choose whether to beat the enemies by brute force or through understanding their unique character. Because that's the thing with Undertale, everything is bursting with personality and feels much more than just another monster.
Who is this goat mama?
For example, this is Toriel. She serves as, well, a tutorial character and mother, more than anything else.
Tutorial, I get it.
She is a monster, but she's kind and loving. In fact, it's difficult to ever want to disobey her or do ill to her, since she's a lovable personality. So of course the game decides to push you into a position where you have to disobey her. Damn.
Kill her!
And that's just it. She's an early boss fight. The game will make you think about what you're doing and why. It's the crux of the game, if nothing else, in that your actions, no matter how minor, have consequences. Usually it will affect a different character or plot later on. So without spoiling anything, the game is beautifully deceptive by looking simple, feeling simple, but actually has a lot of depth to what you're doing.
I see. So that is what you meant by everything being deceptive. If I were this androgynous protagonist, I would kill everything and take their souls for my own, killing everything as I traverse this underworld.
Yes, I bet you would. You do have the choice to do that after all, and it will affect the boss fights and ending should you do that.
I bet even the story is simple.
It is, yes. Well, at least on the surface. You're a human that has fallen into this underground world of monsters, sealed away, and you set out to pass through their magical barrier and return to the human world. It's as simple as that. You must face Asgore, the king of the underground kingdom, and pass him at the barrier. Peel away that top layer of story and you reveal that the monsters are after 7 human souls to break through the barrier and get revenge on the humans. After all, one of the monsters' children returned a previous human who had fallen ill with them, and the humans killed that poor child monster, his own soul doomed to a plot I can't reveal, for fear of spoiling anything further for you. Which means there's a third layer of plot you should play the game for to find out about.
You tease, do you not feel you have already spoiled the game?
Actually no, I've deliberately not gone into the most decisive factors that would spoil the game for you guys.
The gameplay looks basic and not particularly enjoyable. It looks like you just travel the barrier solving puzzles to progress. Cheap puzzles with no real substance.
Probably the least entertaining aspect, yeah, and the game does go through a bit of roller coaster of fun areas and not so fun areas, but at least the areas look vastly different from one another, and the characters have a lot going for them. Take Sans and Papyrus for instance.
Who speak in Comic Sans and Papyrus, the most overused fonts in existence.
And one's a comic, and the other as eccentric and loud as their capitalized font. It's great!
If you say so.
It's worth going through the game for the characters alone, if nothing else, and they will always entertain you in some form. As ridiculous as some of them are, they will always have a deeper story and character to them, which makes you kind of care for them. If you explore these characters, you will no doubt become attached to them and care for the game a lot more.
I thought this was a game, not a drama.
Actually, good characters really bring an RPG to life. Look at Final Fantasy VI for instance, or 9. In fact, this game takes a couple of nods to Final Fantasy VI in the best possible way, such as one particular opera scene, or the main villain. I'll leave it at that.
Does the music match the opera scene? I'd love to hear those fake vocals.
Funnily enough, yes. But beyond that, the music is phenomenal in this game. In fact, it's arguably the game's greatest asset. A lot of the tunes are simple but have excellent instrumentation and implementation. As such, we have excellent tunes such as... and catchy jiggy tunes like...
Is this chiptune? I adore chiptune. They send my audio receptors into overdrive. Their machine-like language speaks to me on a sensual level.
Creepy Mecha. The chiptune combination with other instruments really brings the music to life. And to think, Toby Fox composed and played it all himself. Undertale is practically a one-man made game with a little help from a couple of other people like Temmie.
Who the sauce is that?
It's a Temmie, probably based on Temmie. Hoi!
Kill it with fire, take its soul.
Fine. We're done here anyway.
Closing.exe of Undertale. I am still not convinced. This just feels like an overhyped game. It looks like it isn't even a good game, just an experience. A bad one.
And it certainly is an experience. Undertale may not be the best RPG out there, and gameplay-wise it isn't actually that deep compared to other RPGs like Breath of Fire 3, Final Fantasy 6 or Chrono Trigger, but it has a lot of heart. It's definitely worth experiencing at least once. It's also best to play it through rather than, say, just watch a Let's Play of it.
I never understood the point of Let's Plays. People should just play the game themselves or just watch some compilation clips. Let's Plays confuse me.
You're easily confused, you pessimistic, obsolete handheld.
Gerad, will we ever get out of this house?
Hush, Mecha, my child. Maybe one day. So, give Undertale a whirl and you won't forget the pure brilliance and the feels the ending gives, no matter which choices you make.